Hey guys, this is Evan Dukas with the Colorado Garden, and in this video, well, in the last video we talked about my dad's garden and how awesome using manure is. Manure of all types, just putting it on like we talked about. And in this video, for all you garden junkies out there, kind of like me, I'd like to just take a quick tour. So, as you can see, got these wonderful grapes here, and they're all growing over the driveway in this nice little trellis that he made. Here's the trunk of one of them. And we'll do a little run around, little U-shape, the outer perimeter here. But yeah, so here are some grapes. So my dad lives in the New York area. This is Long Island, and it is a zone 7, but possibly a 6B where they're at. So figs like this are actually, they could kind of be grown, especially in against a south wall like he has. In the past, the past really cold winter, actually the past 2 winters, they really took a beating because he doesn't cover them. So they did die almost to the ground, but they're coming back with a vengeance. And he's even got some figs in there, trying to ripen. So we'll see if they ripen by the end of the summer here, or the fall. And here's a few other varieties, including Hardy Chicago and a cypress variety back there. Here are some artichokes, really big, beautiful. They are already picked pretty much to eat within the past month. Got one more little one coming on here, but like I said, they pretty much ate them all already. And here we have squash, and pretty much just so this is a zucchini, nice light colored one, and it is huge. So he actually just he just picked a whole bunch of vegetables, so it's probably the worst time to do a tour, but that's okay. But these are huge. I mean, this is like, if I lay down, I'm 6'4", I might not even make it from tip to tip over there. And as I showed in the last video, here are the tomatoes, and they're just so productive, very productive. They're all leaning over with like tons of fruit. Awesome. And tomatoes, I mean, the tomatoes are just out of control. He grew so many this year. And in fact, I think he let some, there were so many last year, like kind of like this, that many of them kind of fell. He got completely ripe and fell to the ground. And apparently, the seeds came back. They sprouted, they germinated this spring, because he ended up with like, I don't know, 300 to 500 plants or something like that, all over the place. I mean, that's the way to do it. That's just great. But yeah, so he ended up actually having to weed out tomatoes and giving plants away and things like that. It was a lot of fun. And as far as varieties, he's got some huge beefsteaks in there. Quite a few varieties that he doesn't even know. Like, that they're probably kind of cross-pollinated with some other ones. Kind of a hybrid. There's also San Marzanos in there. There are cherry tomatoes, some orange cherry tomatoes. Up here we have Actinidia arguta, which is a hardy kiwi variety. There's a male, female, and then a self-fertile variety as well. And they're just taking off. I actually gave these plants to him a few years back, and they're just loving it. Out of control already. Trellis is too small. So, more tomatoes and some squash. It's just crawling onto the lawn here. This is a rare Greek variety, actually over here. And there is also spaghetti squash, butternut, possibly a few others. Out of control, actually. Just so many of them. And they're loving that manure that we talked about in the last video. My dad just dumps it on. No hesitations, just dumps it on. And the plants just love it. Here's some beautiful cabbage. Very big. And some very big kale as well. Okay. And then a row of parsley. Got some mint, of course. My dad's got plenty of wild herbs growing around. Here's some potatoes, and I mean, as far as organization, he just, with my dad, it's just kind of everything goes. So there's potatoes kind of everywhere. It's great. Some beans in there, some string beans. And he probably just harvested them all, because there were like a ton yesterday. Oh, there's a few there. And a couple fruit trees, including this pear. Some oregano blooming. The pollinators are just loving. And here is some fennel. It's just sweet and flavorful. It's flowering here. I actually just eat the flowers too. They're sweet and they're surprisingly tender, and you get that natural source of pollen. And you can do the same with arugula and others. Like this is arugula that's almost done, but you could eat these flowers, and they are delicious. Yeah, they taste like arugula with a little sweet spot from that pollen. Some really nice basil. Some more beans. It's got some sunflowers starting there. And of course more tomatoes. You can never have enough. And here's some okra. Really, really pretty. And okra, I think I missed the flowers. Just saw them yesterday. But they have these beautiful flowers. Really pretty flowers. Very exotic looking. And let's see, towards the middle here, even more tomatoes. It's amazing he really doesn't work hard these days on this stuff. There's nice squash. Like I said, dumps the manure on, and at this point his soil is almost like a live culture if you're into like fermentation, things like that. I mean, it is just, it's out of control. If you dig in, you get these huge worms. They're just gigantic. So it just breaks things down so quickly. See, we got some grapes here too. There they are, growing in there. And so it's pretty much, my dad is slowly, I mean, his backyard is just becoming a food jungle, food forest. Got some raspberries there. More figs. There's a cherry tree, an apple tree. I mean, at some point, wherever there's space, there's food. Just awesome. And that is it. Hope you enjoyed the little tour. And as always, if you have any additional comments or questions about, in this case, about what my dad does and things like that, please feel free.